But that being said, this is a good segue into talking about this. So Ryan Knight, someone I forgot existed for a couple of months, is getting back in the discourse by tweeting a David Dole clip. That's right, folks. David Dole, also known as 1996 Republican presidential nominee, is going at it again, defending Hasan Piker, rich guy. You know, Hasan Piker, he's rich. Right? But David Dole was also going after Jimmy Dore for having a nice house as well. So Ryan Knight tweets out, "These frauds spent months calling Jimmy Dore a grifter because he bought a home, but now they're defending Hasan for doing the same thing. It's all a personality cult to them. They like Hasan because he worships AOC. They hate Dore because he calls her out." First of all, Hasan Piker does not worship AOC. I don't follow Hasan, but I have seen numerous threads of him criticizing AOC multiple times, criticizing other Democratic politicians multiple times. That is not the case whatsoever. The idea that, like, fucking worship, like, again, these force the voters, they genuinely believe. This is, like, again, the left-wing QAnon. There is no difference between QAnon and force the vote. Materially, there is no difference. These people genuinely believe that if you disagree slightly with some random YouTube podcaster, that you worship Democratic politicians. They genuinely, like, with 100% honestly think that. So, yesterday I made a video about Hasan having a house, and I want to make a follow-up on this because, you know, the proud grifter here has allowed me to, weigh in on this a second time, so I wanted to do so. My problem with people like Ryan Knight and Jimmy Dore versus Hasan Piker, when it comes, they're all rich. Ryan Knight is rich as a motherfucker. This guy is extremely wealthy. Jimmy Dore is extremely wealthy. Hasan Piker is extremely wealthy. Now, again, I want to be very clear. I don't watch any of their content. All I know is from what they, their controversial takes that trend online. That's all I know. So, the problem with Jimmy Dore versus Hasan Piker is Jimmy Dore's entire political strategy is based on alienating people and wrapping them up in a conspiracy network. Now, I don't watch Hasan Piker's content. I don't. So it's possible Hasan Piker does similar things. I don't watch his content. But what I do know is I've seen enough of Jimmy Dore's content to know that Jimmy Dore and Donald Trump are very similar. They've created conspiracy theory networks that revolve around them as the main character. Force the vote is a conspiracy theory. The idea that AOC, Cori Bush, Ayanna Pressley, and so on, that they had unlimited power on January 3rd, 2021, that they could have done whatever they wanted, they could have forced the vote, they could have gotten us Medicare for all, they're standing in the way of healthcare. That idea is as ridiculous as the idea that Donald Trump will be reinstated in August. It's the same level of ridiculousness. It's as ridiculous as the idea that Jesus Christ will come out of the fucking ground and send legions of fairies around the world. These are all ridiculous, bizarre conspiracy theories. Now, I understand why someone who, in the height of this pandemic, who probably lost family members due to the virus, and who probably doesn't have good health insurance, would want to believe in a world where 3 or 4 politicians have unlimited power and they could get them anything they want. All they have to do is force the vote, and they're not doing it. It's like a cheat code. It's like IDDQD in Doom. You just type it in and boom, you win. That's not the world that we live in. We live in a complicated world where there's lots of nuance and there's lots of problems and there are no clear solutions to anything, right? So Jimmy Dore's entire shtick is basically convincing everyone in the world that force the vote is the only real reality. That if you agree with Cori Bush having a protest on the steps of the Capitol and extending the eviction moratorium by 2 months, that's bad because she didn't force the vote. Why did she go out there and protest and give people 2 extra months of housing when she could have forced the vote? Right? Again, you need to understand, there's a difference here. Hasan does not do that, to my understanding. Now, I could be wrong, and if someone wants to send me Hasan saying other weird conspiratorial stuff, I'll gladly make an amendment to this video. But again, the idea that people are bad because they have a good house, that's not my problem. I am more concerned with how they made their money. That's my concern. And so when Jimmy Dore is out there spinning yarns, right, and promoting conspiracy theories for years, and just being an absolute and utter weirdo, right? And also, a lot of his money comes from right-wingers. If you looked in the come-up to the election, he would get $500 super chats, like big $1,000 contributions from Trump supporters. His money comes from grifting to the right and attacking the Democratic Party and coming up with any excuse under the sun to say that all Democrats are evil and Satan worshipers. That's the problem with Jimmy Dore. Hasan seemingly is just like a milquetoast social democrat. Maybe he's a communist, I don't know. And he goes out there and says, like, yeah, maybe rich people should pay taxes, including himself. He advocates for himself to pay taxes, right? So, like, that's the key difference here, is that Jimmy Dore's way of making money is by grifting to the right, whereas to my understanding, Hasan does not do that. If Hasan starts grifting to the right, I'll be the first one to call him out, right? But the idea that the criticism is that they have a house, I'm sorry. No, that's not the criticism. The criticism of Jimmy Dore having a nice house is not that he has a nice house. It's that he claims to be, oh, I lay bricks for a living, by the way, that was my father's company, and I'm a working class hero, and you know, I just want to give everyone health care, and I'm on the side of the people, when all of his things that he does, every show that he's done in the last, like, year or 2 years, has been helping the right. That's why I have a problem with him having a mansion, is because he made his money by grifting to the right and lying to people and convincing them that a conspiracy theory is the best way to go about life. That's my problem. Hasan Piker's audience, while they can be cringy, sure, seemingly are at least a little bit in tune with reality. They know that AOC isn't perfect, but they also know that AOC isn't God incarnate and can do whatever she wants if she just forces a vote. They're more in line with the real world than the Jimmy Dore cult and then the Ryan Knight cult, and that's the problem. So I wanted to weigh in on that because I did get a lot of people that gave me some comments on that too. So I wanted to be a little bit more clear on my position.